Hello everyone, this is Bobbin Threadbare, and welcome back to Deus Ex. Now let's go see about the lucky money, but first, there is something upstairs I forgot about last time. Well, yes, there's a pet shop, but that's not it. What I actually forgot about is wrong. I was just exploring here and I realized that over here, see this little indentation here? See how there's no brackets for interaction? Well, it's lying to you. That is totally a door. That blew my mind when I found this. And the reason I found it is because I came up here and I got 40 area location points and I was like, what the hell? Why is this place special? Anyway, it lets you get to the gunfire acoustic sensor, lets you shut it off, but, well, you know, if you're firing unsilenced weapons in the marketplace, things have already gone south. Having the alarm system go off isn't going to change things that much. So, let's go to the mall. But first, you can actually see this is another map that we will be visiting later. And it's really neat that you can see that much of it just through that overpass.
The mall area is perfectly safe. If you want a good time, I recommend the Lucky Money. We patrol this area 24 hours. We patrol this area 24 hours.
That would be the we right there. Suppose only one of them actually patrols, but that's good. Because it means I get to break into this convenience store. It's gonna take 2 picks, but the door strength is infinite. Now, luckily he's too busy looking at that vase over there, and it's important to notice this security terminal right away. Because otherwise you're going to have to be dodging these 2 cameras here quite a lot. I suppose if you go through the glass, then you could open the door that way, but that's, you know, if you've broken through the glass, it's kind of pointless. Plus, I think it sets off the alarm. No real email here. But it does open the vault, that's helpful. Otherwise, we'd need 2 tools or an explosive, and, well, that would have spooked the police officers out there. Now, I've checked, and they don't actually care if you're in here, so long as the alarm doesn't go off. But I've played a lot of Thief over the years, and it's left me paranoid about this sort of thing. And there he is. Looking this way, but luckily these guards aren't all that perceptive. Once he turns back down that hallway... screw it. They don't notice you when you're logged into a computer. I'll just hack this while I'm waiting. It's not even worth that much. Okay. So... back here, bunch of drinks. No real point unless you want to get really crunk. But there are a couple actually interestingly useful items here. Now, on to the lucky money.
Hey man, where you from?
The States.
We're from Australia.
On vacation?
Let's just wait for Russ.
He's kinda cute. What's your name?
JC. Is this a good club?
Oh, totally. And it's a Red Arrow place? They get everything real cheap. Look, can we ask a big favor?
Sure.
My friend and I, it's so silly, we left our credit cards at the hotel. Think you could get us in?
How much do you need?
Only 20 each. We get in for 20.
Sure.
Sure.
Right, you like to dance then? Let's go.
You're so bad.
40 isn't that much. Let's see how much it takes for us to get in.
Leather boots. For you, 25 credits admission.
Guess that's not too bad.
Here you go.
Perfect. I order you to stand in the spotlight and growl at the women like a dog who needs a master.
Well, alright then. So, welcome to the lucky...
Thanks for getting me in.
Okay. Welcome to the... There it goes. Welcome to the Lucky Money.
Good evening.
Hello there. Great place here.
Isn't it? People have the wrong idea about the tribes, you know.
In what way?
They run the economy. The black market prices in clubs like this let people have a good time. Don't you agree? This club is the best of everything.
Have a good time. I'll check back with you if I have any more questions.
Is that guy on E? Sounds like he is.
Hi. Don't you like to dance? Get in the middle. Come on. You would look good with bangs. Aren't you hot in that coat?
I'm not your type.
I just want to ask a few questions.
Look, I was here first. Chen told me himself. If there's a job, I get it.
What kind of job?
Just back off. I got fired at the quick stop next door without even a warning, and I need a cash.
Tough luck.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get them back and unlock into their computer. It's management, password, code 324. One of these nights, I'm gonna stick it there and trash all their records.
What's a quick stop cashier doing working for the Red Arrow?
And working it. Hey man, you blocked the view.
Not really.
I like goth chicks. You're getting on my nerves.
I feel silly. You look good. Move your hips a little more. There you go. Like this? That's better.
I get this feeling that one of those two is overdressed.
Thanks for getting me in.
That was so cool, man. Thank you so much. Do you know Max Chen? He runs this place.
No problem. We go way back. Want to dance?
Bet you've got some moves I haven't seen before.
There's only one way to find out.
Let me loosen up a bit. Mind if I borrow 10 credits to get a drink?
Ma'am, I buy far too many high-powered weapons to also be your sugar daddy.
Sorry. You'll have to fend for yourself.
I'll pay you back.
I got you in. I'm not paying for anything else.
Don't have to get knocky. Jeez.
Hello.
Want to get something to eat after this? Maybe some tea. But I want to go home. Take a bath. Where do you live? Not too far.
Thanks for getting me in.
Yeah, I got that.
Hey man, you blocked the view.
Good evening.
Hello there. Do you know a man named Max Chen?
Of course I know Max, a terrific fellow.
Do you know where I can find him?
In the back room. He runs the whole Red Arrow from here. Hey, you're not with the police, are you?
I'll tell you later.
I like your tattoo. Really? The claws of a dragon. Touching your breast. I just thought it would be sexy.
Good evening. You must be American. Always find satisfaction at the Lucky Money. My personal evaluation, the Filipino girls of the Red Arrow are simply the best. Many of my clients are from the Red Arrow. I've always enjoyed doing business with the tribes. Good evening.
So I guess he's a lawyer then? Anyway, the real benefit of bringing those two Australians in is because they name-dropped Max Chen.
Please, you choose. 100 credits.
No.
Where can I find Max Chen?
Check at the bar, kid. Hello.
Thanks for getting...
I like to dance. Hello.
Yes, hello, I got that.
Do you like to dance? Welcome to Lucky Money. Do you like to dance?
I've never seen so many troopers. They must be close to a breakthrough.
But which division?
Maybe all of them. Something fundamental. I saw guards in biotech, too.
I think it's just the UC.
They've had that for weeks.
But word has gotten out. Every engineer on the planet,
VersaLife already has the best security in the industry.
even my game programmer friend in Texas offered me 1 million credits for 1 hour on the UC. Wanted to make the game of life with buckyballs. Joking, of course.
don't like being in the dark.
What do you mean?
Everything's so compartmentalized.
Pain, I know. But all it takes is one leak to the net, and there goes our work into the public domain.
It's more like the way you'd organize a prison camp than a laboratory.
Let's not get melodramatic.
I've spent months making this rotor for sorting calcium ions, and I don't even know what it's for.
Kaczynski was right about the division of labor. I'll give him that much. Want another drink?
Who puts the pieces together?
Someone who makes a lot more money than we do.
Stay in the dance area.
Just as a double joke, the guy who is talking there, his face is patterned after Warren Spector.
I see you in a corner, smoldering, hostile. Everyone will wonder who you are. Go call a Russian sailor a nasty name. I want to see you fight. I like a man with a lot of zippers.
Odd.
I see you in a corner, smoldering, hostile. Everyone will wonder who you are.
Well, luckily the guy with a rocket launcher doesn't actually care if I break into the safe here. So I'm gonna do just that. But yeah, so that was Warren Spector up there.
I like a man with a lot of zippers.
Complaining that Warren Spector was bugging him about, getting onto the UC.
I think management is involved in something criminal.
I don't know if you should be saying that.
Really? Why the codes? All the procedures? Why'd the data entry people disappear today? What did the company have them doing?
That's outside your department.
I want to know. What do they do all day and all night down on level 2?
I don't think I can take part in this conversation.
Got a lot of dialogue.
Sure, I don't mind needles. Tomb schmoola. Experiment. I like experiments. Gift to science. Nano-augmented transcription. That'll do the trick. Don't talk, or we'll feed you the Garkians. Experiment. I like experiment.
Have another drink?
Don't mind if I do.
As you were saying?
Well, women back home, they aren't like your daughter. I do very much wish to meet her.
You are very handsome. You must have many girlfriends in your country.
Oh, come on. Nah.
So much dialogue. And there's a third floor here, too. Not as much going on up here, though. Mostly the Russian soldiers that
Shake it!
the woman downstairs was referring to.
Move it! I spill my drink!
Ah, classic.
Out of my face! Hey, Yevgeny! Yevgeny! Where is Yevgeny?
That's the party!
Downstairs. The upstairs is for us. Tell the mama-san. 3 more dancing girls. We will pay. More! More! Enough! Go!
Yeah, alright. There's nothing more to it than there's just a party of Russian sailors up there. It's kind of interesting. These two have finally run out of things to say.
Mind if I ask what you were talking about?
You with the company?
It just sounded interesting. Troops. At a corporation?
Not your affair. Please do not intrude. We do not wish to be disturbed.
We're having a private discussion.
We do not wish to...
We're having a private discussion.
I guess so.
You see, my class. Well, in the US, either you have nothing or you have everything. And the women of my class, well, they're spoiled. Whereas your daughter, see, she's the perfect example. Born not with a silver spoon in her mouth, but...
Wooden chopsticks.
Yes, good, that's very good. Exactly. And that's why she understands the important things. Food, shelter, a good life.
That's a very nice watch.
Thank you. So kind of you. A gift from my mother, actually.
Beer is 15. Wine is 120.
Can I ask you something?
What do you want to know?
Despite all I've read about the triads, I wasn't prepared to see them operating in the open, on the streets, and wearing uniforms. Doesn't the Chinese government care?
Chinese leave Hong Kong alone. Barricade the roads to control trade to the mainland, but they know how business is done.
I would think the secret smuggling operations of the triads would disturb the Chinese government.
Maybe the luminous path. China knows that the red arrow of business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders, and that they protect the city from outside influences.
You said outside influences. What does China fear?
China is the last sovereign country in the world. Authoritarian but willing, unlike the UN-governed countries, to give its people the freedom to do what they want.
As long as they don't break the law.
Listen to me. This is real freedom. Freedom to own property, make a profit, make your life. The West, so afraid of strong government, now has no government, only financial power.
Our governments have limited power by design.
Rhetoric? You believe it? Don't you know where these slogans come from?
I give up.
Well-paid researchers. How do you say it? Think tanks? Funded by big businesses. What is that? A think tank?
Hardly as sinister as a dictator, like China's premier.
Privately funded propaganda. The Trilateral Commission in the United States, for instance.
Still better than a public monopoly on propaganda. It's not like that's going to get rid of the problem.
The separation of powers acknowledges the petty ambitions of individuals. That's its strength.
A system organized around the weakest qualities of individuals will produce the same qualities in its leaders.
Perhaps certain qualities are an inseparable part of human nature.
The mark of the educated man is the suppression of these qualities in favor of better ones. The same is true of civilization.
Okay, but China's premiership is organized around being able to wrest power away from other power-hungry, wealthy oligarchs. That's not much better.
I'm looking for Max Chen.
Is that so? What is it about?
Well, Tracer Tong we know is with the Luminous Path, so Maggie Chow sounds like a better idea.
Maggie Chow sent me.
Oh, the beautiful Miss Maggie. You'll find the door just behind me.
I'll get a drink later.
14 karat gold, actually. Not my style at all.
Fine things suit you.
You think so?
You have thin aristocratic wrist.
Oh, stop it. It'll go to my head. Hi-ho, sir.
Hi-ho!
My friend and I were about to leave.
Not a bad company if I do say so.
I like your jacket.
Addicted to the nightlife. That's always been my weakness.
Your sunglasses must be very expensive.
Addicted to the nightlife.
I like your jacket.
So, as I was saying, getting those two Australian ladies in here, the benefit is that they name-drop Max Chen, and that is the only way to get in here before you are required to be here by the plot. Anyway, we've got some crates back there, but those crates are not worth 4 picks, so I'm gonna cheat again. I know, twice in a row, but the locks are getting a lot harder at this point, and it's been a very long time since I've upgraded my lockpicking or my multi-tool using abilities. So this is basically what you'll have to expect from this point. I mean, not that I'm going to cheat that often, but well, the need to cheat has now become a thing because the locks have gotten harder. And I don't want to spend all those skill points because I'm trying to save up for rifles level 4. That's going to take some doing. See, where did it go? Oh, it's on the floor. Yeah, 2 bits of sniper ammo. That's all I really got out of this. The rest I don't need. So yeah, worth 1 lockpick, but not 4. Oh, yeah. Gonna have to go through this door to find Max Chen.
Excuse me, sir. This room is off limits to club patrons. I suggest you leave.
It's okay. I'm here to see Max Chen. He'll expect me.
An American. I hope he likes what you have to say. Isaac is letting anybody back here these days.
Of course, you can come down here without the bartender's permission, but they get a little more hostile if you barge in like that.
You must be Max Chen.
So?
I talked to a member of the Luminous Path. They claim to know nothing about the missing sword.
Are you calling me a liar?
I was just wondering what makes you so certain.
My good friend and predecessor was murdered for the Dragon's Tooth. Don't split hairs with me.
Say your business and go. Who does this American think he is?
I don't know, but I'm hacking your computer. And this is actually a little more useful than talking to Max Chen at this point in the game.
Ignorant Guaylo. You acting like a fool. Who does this American think he is?
But yeah, that went about as well as expected.
The one-chai merchants are being stubborn. We need to organize.
After all, Gordon Quick said I'd need proof, and sure enough, he won't listen to me unless I bring some proof. But that's actually it now. For the, wait a second. Hang on. I almost forgot.
Hello.
Yes, hello. One area I forgot to look into is the restrooms. There's a lady in here who's kind of...
Gangsters! They're all gangsters!
mad.
They were cutting him and laughing and stabbing their swords. Poor Chinko. I will not sleep until the last luminous path is dead.
Yikes. Can't say I blame her, though. Sounds like she was, severely traumatized by whatever the luminous path did to her, I'm assuming boyfriend. Friend of some sort or another, at least. But yes, that there is the end of my journey into... wait. Almost forgot. I used a multi-tool, so getting it back. But that's the end of the Lucky Money, at least for now. We'll be coming back there when the plot demands it of us, and I can promise it'll be more exciting. But as for now, it's time to go to the canals. Next time. But speaking of private think tanks, today on Conspiracy Corner, I think I'll return to an old topic I promised I'd get to. The Council on Foreign Relations. The facts. The Council on Foreign Relations shares a common ancestry with the United Nations. As World War I was winding down, Edward Mandell House, close advisor to President Woodrow Wilson, was tasked to figure out how to move the world into a post-war era. To this end, House gathered between 100 to 150 prominent scholars, and in a series of meetings dubbed the Inquiry, they came up with the 14 points President Wilson would deliver to the United States Congress and the Allied nations during the Paris peace talks. One of the points was to form a General Association of Nations, which became the League of Nations, and the rest were either globalist or generous in nature. A public peace process, free movement in international waters, disarmament, decolonization, the formation of a free Polish state, and even a pact of non-interference regarding Russia and the recent October Revolution. That last point is particularly interesting, since half a year after his speech, Wilson sent 13,000 troops to support an Allied intervention in Russia. The Allies were aiding the democratic White Russians against both the Germans and the Bolsheviks. And if their refusal to help the communist government soured relations, the military assistance to their enemies pretty much nailed that coffin shut. In the meantime, however, members of the Inquiry, who went with Wilson to the Paris peace talks, had a nice talk with some Brits who were also there and decided that they should get together more often, and that they should name this get-together the Institute of International Affairs. Unfortunately, the United States was still very isolationist at the time, which made setting up an international organization difficult. So what they did was create two sister societies. In the United Kingdom, it's called the Royal Institute of International Affairs, and here in the States, it's called the Council on Foreign Relations. For the first couple of years, it was basically a meeting of about 100 wealthy bankers and lawyers in New York City, chaired by Elihu Root, who had been at various times a Secretary of State, a Secretary of War, and a U.S. Senator. Oh, and very possibly another major contributor to the Bolshevik war chest, along with Jacob Schiff. The council formally incorporated on July 29, 1921, and began hitting up their wealthy membership for money, including J.P. Morgan, the Rockefellers, the Fords, and the Carnegies. This let them publish a bi-monthly magazine called Foreign Affairs, which is still in circulation today, and a very nice mansion donated by the Pratts in 1945. The Council on Foreign Relations is, or at least was, an old boys club in a way that the later Trilateral Commission could never hope to be. Despite how membership ballooned from 1,600 to today's 4,700, it took until the 1970s for the Council to integrate, reluctantly, both non-whites and women. And it's so heavily based in New York City and Washington, D.C. that only in '97 did their chairman acknowledge that they needed to reach further into America. Membership is very exclusive. All 4,700 lifetime members have to be recommended by a current member, seconded by 3 others, and then vetted by a membership committee. In addition, there are term memberships, which are 5 years in length, and offered to younger candidates between the ages of 30 and 36, and corporate memberships, which are purchased through donations and provide the corporation's executives with invitations to exclusive events. While party lines are not considered for membership, the CFR is explicitly in favor of globalization, free trade, transnational corporations, and economic consolidation. The conspiracy. So get this. Between the CFR's founding and today, there have been 16 presidents of the United States. Of these, 8 either were or would become members of the Council: Herbert Hoover, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, George Bush Sr., and Bill Clinton. Possibly it's more, or possibly less. Aside from the current roster on the CFR website, my sources are all less than perfectly credible. However, even those presidents after Nixon who aren't members have had vice presidents who are. Reagan had Bush, and both Dick Cheney and Joe Biden are members. Or Cheney is, at least. As a think tank, the CFR has the same restrictions against the membership of public officials as the Trilateral Commission. The rest of the list is a who's who of political leaders, corporation executives, university and research group heads, and prominent journalists. And since the CFR is nearly 12 times the size of the Trilateral Commission and draws exclusively from U.S. citizens, it's a lot more comprehensive. Between its regular members and the direct corporate membership system, the CFR has connections to virtually every major company in America. In addition, from Eisenhower to Lyndon Johnson, the percentage of foreign policy officials in the government with ties to the CFR rose from 40% to 57%. The numbers went down somewhat in the 70s, but that's when the study I'm quoting was performed, so I couldn't really say where we stand right now. The Council on Foreign Relations conducts some of its meetings behind closed doors, so despite the bi-monthly publication and all the policy suggestions they publicly submit to the government, there's just enough mystery to get the conspiratorial juices flowing. The one world government angle is obvious enough, since the CFR makes no bones about their globalist agenda, but theories of who's really in control include Zionist Jewish bankers, since some of its members have been both bankers and Jewish, Britain, since it's got that sister organization in the Royal Institute, the communists, because communism has a one world state ideal and some CFR members have happened to be socialist, though others are quite emphatically not, and of course, the Antichrist, because in modern dispensationalism, a one world government is considered a sign of the apocalypse. Then there's the supposed ties to ancient conspiracies I mentioned before. Cecil Rhodes came up with globalization first, Cecil Rhodes was a Freemason, therefore, etc., etc., Jesus was an alien. So, is the Council on Foreign Relations any of those things? No. But that doesn't mean they're harmless. Personal thoughts. Think tanks are a good idea, because they're places where intelligent people can come up with ideas and then present them to the government to hopefully turn those good ideas into laws. Think tanks are bad ideas, however, because they are one step away from being lobbies that generate their own bills, which the government can then mindlessly rubber stamp in the hopes that the ideas are actually good. Lobbies themselves aren't bad ideas either. After all, it's important in a democracy that every industry and population group have their voices heard, and by hiring a professional to stay in the Capitol and advocate your cause, you can ensure that Congress or Parliament or whoever will hear your side. However, lobbying is also a vector to bring money into politics, and everybody, except apparently the current U.S. Supreme Court, knows that money and politics is a toxic combination. And it's not like the CFR is alone out there in influencing American governments. If you want to see who's really making an impact these days, look no further than ALEC, or the American Legislative Exchange Council. ALEC is also backed by major corporations and a number of former public servants, and you've probably heard of what they've been up to. Many of their model bills have been passed into state laws with little to no alteration, including the Stand Your Ground laws I touched upon earlier, voter identification laws, Arizona's immigration criminalization law, the federal Animal Enterprise Terrorism Act, which classifies certain animal and environmental rights activities as terrorism. To be fair, they're illegal activities. And 3 strikes laws with privatized prisons. ALEC also stands for deregulating utilities, privatizing education, and opposes the Affordable Care Act. Or what's even better, ALEC doesn't disclose its membership list, which includes active legislators or the authors of its model bills, making it even more secretive than the CFR. We wouldn't even know about these model bills except for a leak in 2011. So it's not that think tanks or lobbyists are harmless, but you should make sure you vet your sources before deciding what's really worth worrying about. Thanks for joining me again in Conspiracy Corner. I hope I'll see you soon.